guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I have intro number 2 for 2023 for you. This one will be my Pando's eyeshadows project. And before I started filming, I spent a good little while updating my spreadsheet because, as you guys know, my sister gifted me pretty much her whole makeup collection. Turned out she had more eyeshadows than I did, I'm pretty sure. So I'm just gonna do some comparison numbers to start things off, scrolling all the way down to where I have the little table to tell you guys where things are at. Last year I ended the year at 155 eyeshadows in my collection. 48 of those had pan. I had a pan percentage of 31%. This year, thanks to my sister, I'm at 501 eyeshadows. Not fully thanks to my sister. I had an 88 palette and a palette that I thought had 100 eyeshadows. Turns out when I counted them properly now, there are 120 eyeshadows in that one. So I added on 200 eyeshadows myself. And then another 150-ish I got from my sister. So that's great. 501 eyeshadows, 50 of those have pan because 2 shadows in my 88 pan palettes, you know, remember those from back in the day, they had pan already. I think one of them I actually hit myself, and one of them was just kind of something that crumbled once it arrived already. But 50 eyeshadows with pan, 501 eyeshadows in total, which brings me to a pan percentage of 10%. So I have at the moment 3 eyeshadows that do not have pan yet that are still in projects. I'm wrapping a lot of things up, so there isn't too much left anymore, but they still exist, and that brings me to a total of 448 eyeshadows that I can pick from. And I've got my phone here, so we're bringing up the Pretty Random app and we're gonna randomize some numbers. So I'm gonna be working on 4 different eyeshadows that I randomize, and as I've kind of hinted at that I was thinking about, I've decided to choose one palette as well this year. I will show you guys when I have all my eyeshadows together that I'm gonna focus on hitting pan on pretty much every shade in there, and maybe prepare it for my Panda palette for next year. Maybe you guys have an idea what palette that might be. But yeah, I'm gonna randomize 4 numbers first. 24, which is still one of my older eyeshadows. 435, which is not a good sign because I think that's the 120 pan palette that I still need to repress, so that's one is gonna be messy. 141, and lastly 129. So let's take a look at what those are. 24 is from a palette that was already in my collection. It's the LA Colors Enchanted palette, and it's the 2nd shade in there. The Enchanted palette is a fully green palette, so it's definitely going to be a green eyeshadow. I don't know which one it is exactly, but I do have a green that I'm still working in on my Panda palettes. Let me give you guys the rules because I forgot to do that. My rules are going to be that I will not be rolling in anything that is too similar to anything that I'm working on in my Panda palette or any other project where I'm already very much focusing on a certain eyeshadow. And I will not be rolling in any blacks because there's only one black that I'm focusing on at a time. I'm not gonna take my attention away and then not make progress on the black that I'm trying to finish at the moment. And I think that that's pretty much it. Now I do still have a green in my Panda palette, as you guys know, that I'm working on, but at the same time I don't think I'm working on that one for too much longer anymore. I think I can squeeze this one in, especially since I'm not planning to start working on these eyeshadows until we're in the new year anyway, so I think I'm gonna be okay with this one. Well, long story. Then moving on, shade number 453, 35. My Dutch and English counting always goes wrong. 435, yep. That is from my 120 pan palettes, and it's shade number 116. No idea what that's gonna be. It's gonna be in the bottom quarter though, so it's probably gonna be a darker shade, but we will see. Then 141 is, I think, from my previous collection already as well. 141 Nope, 141 is from, I think, the Sephora palette, right? Yeah. I've got a little like Sephora, like tiny palette thing. 141 is from that palette. It's shade number 29, whatever that may be. And 129 is, I think, from the same palette actually. Yep, shade number 17. So I'm gonna go grab the palettes that I need for this, and then I'm gonna also grab my palettes that I'm gonna randomize one additional shade from. So let's see what we'll end up with. I'll see you guys in a second again. So I had an idea which palettes we were going to be working with, but for the most part I have no idea what type of colors we're going to end up with. Except for the first one that I rolled, number 24, was the second shade in my LA Enchanted Forest palette, LA Colors I should say. And the second shade is this one right here. It's like, I guess, the most bluish green in here. Like, I feel like when I look at it right now, it seems to have a bit of a bluish undertone. It's like there is the faintest bit of shimmer in there, but I feel like they end up being fairly matte anyway. And this might even work in compare, like, together with the green that's in my Pendant palette, because I have that on my lids right now, and as you can maybe see, it's a bit gray outside, so I don't know how well the colors are working at the moment. Like, that has a bit of like a yellowish glitter throughout it, like a golden shimmer. And this one being like more of an actual green, like they might work well together actually. So that is number one. Then number two was shade number 116, and no, that was in my 120 palette. 116 shade from that. Talking isn't great at the moment. Now, as I already mentioned, this palette is a mess still right now. I'm afraid to even properly hold it up. Most of these shadows are shattered, and that's how they already arrived, but I didn't know what repressing was yet back then. So I'm gonna take a look and see. Shade 116 is in here. And sorry, I'm not gonna take the plastic off, so it might be a bit reflective, but 120, 19, 18, 17, 16. It's whole, which is nice because I will be able to show you guys it right now and make a photo of it without it changing when I go and repress it. I'm gonna try and do that like tomorrow maybe. Let's see. Yeah, dark blue. I'm gonna very carefully try and make a swatch of that one without dropping half of my stuff on the floor and putting pigment all over the place. Okay, I managed to get to it. So it seems like almost black in the pan, but when you see it here, it's definitely like, it's a like nightly blue type of thing. It's a matte shade, but it's not too dark. I don't think this will be interfering with anything in my collection at the moment too much. It might actually work well with the blue shade in my Pendant palette if I so choose to actually do a full-on blue eye look. So I think it's going to be fine to be in, but I'm going to have to fix this palette before I properly start using that. Luckily, I'm not, like I said, really planning to start using most of these until we are in the new year. So that is okay. Then we have two shades from the Sephora palette. The first shade is shade 29 and the second shade is shade 17. So let's take a look what those two are. This is the palette and the mirror. And also this one is slightly broken because, well, an accident happened with it. Shade 29. So there's 33 shades in this one in total. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then there's like three, see, there's my face. 3 cream eyeliners at the bottom here. So there's 36 shades here, but only 33 of them are eyeshadows, if that makes sense. So we're gonna go 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, yeah, it's this shade. I honestly don't know how to properly, oh, I can put it like this, yes. This is shade number 29, which is a green with some glitter throughout it. And that might be relatively similar to what's in, oh no, actually it's not. It's way more of like a forest green. I was not expecting it to look like that when I swatched it. So I think I'm gonna be okay with that. As I said, I think the green on my Panda palette is not gonna be around for that much longer, so I'm not too worried about greens. And well, you guys know me and my greens, they're everywhere. So they're gonna show up anyway. It's interesting that there isn't that, like there's 5 greens in this 33 pan palette and still I end up with a green, but that is the green. And then the other shade was number 17, so that's 6, 12, 18, that's also a green. And I actually think that that one might be relatively similar. Let me try that out. Yeah, I think it actually is relatively similar. I'm gonna swatch it on the side here. Yeah, that is the one that I picked, and this is the Enchanted Glamourland. I'm gonna re-roll for this one because those two are too similar. Okay, I feel like I've got eyeshadow everywhere at this point, but let's do one more roll. And I might have to walk up to the next floor of the house again. 76. 76 is from my older palettes. 76. And my Strike a Pose. Oh, that's interesting. Surprise, surprise. If you guys guessed right, my NYX Strike a Pose palette is already here. Because that was going to be my focus palette, and I randomly rolled in a shade from this palette as well. The shade is a like medium-ish dark brown. I know I've got my Panda palette as well, but I'm really hoping to have the darkest brown finished off fairly quickly, and I think this one is gonna be like darker than my medium. Yeah, I think it definitely is darker than my medium brown right now, and it's a matte, so I think it's different enough, especially when I've only got one more brown to work on. I can combine them a little bit more easily than when I already have like 3 browns in my Panda palette and then add another one to it. So this one is not going to go in, but that is my palette so far. And now that's such a weird coincidence out of like all the eyeshadows I have now. That one is rolling in. So that is shade number 9. Now if you look at this palette, sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to show it to you guys so it's clear. My brain, I don't know. So like when I hold it up right, this one is shade number 1, the black one, which of course is not going to count. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You guys get that part. Black is not going to go in. We've got 3 pens in here already, and this guy is already in a project, in this project. But I think I'm going to roll something from this anyway, because the randomized part is just random, and then I'm going to work on a shade from this palette too. So 3 pens already, 1 empty palette, and 1 shade that I cannot pick anyway. No, 1 that I already rolled in. So I've got 4 shades that I can roll in, one of them being a green. The red shade right here, we've got a purple and a yellow. Most of these don't interfere with anything that I'm working on. Even that lightest green might actually work because it's a light green, but yeah, let's see. I'm gonna roll 1 to 4 on my phone now and see what we will end up with for my palette focus shades, basically. So I'm gonna clear the history just in case. And we're gonna roll in shade number 3. Shade number 3, I think was a purple, right? Yep. That is a purple, which is, well, I'm still working on purple in my whole collection project pen, but that one will be wrapping up in like about 2 weeks. So then this will be the only purple that I have in my projects at the moment. So that is completely fine. These shades are fairly powdery at the moment already anyway, so I can work with that. So this is the palette that we are working with for my first month 2023 Panda's Eyeshadows project. It's not a completely like non-coherent palette, but it's mainly that purple, I think, that doesn't fully fit. But it will fit with some of the other shades that I might be working on in my Panda palette, for example. So I think I can figure that out. The greens and blues and like the brown even, I can probably work those in together. That dark brown is definitely going to be the hardest one for me to work on. I'm very curious to see, because now I've got some palettes that I just have never really hit pan in yet, so it's gonna be interesting to see how long it's gonna take me. The ones in that 120 pan palette are slightly domed, so that's gonna be interesting. I know that this palette is getting fairly powdery, so I'm expecting to be able to hit pan on these relatively quickly. Possibly even on one of them by next month, that would be really nice. And these Sephora palettes, like the pans in here, they look really tiny. So actually I think it does say on the back how much, like what is the weight of one of those shadows. 0.56 grams, which is 0.02 ounces. That's not a lot. So I'd say I'd be most likely to hit pan in one of the bottom 3. Possibly all 3 of them, possibly 2 of them, maybe just 1. But I think that that's where my focus is going to be. I think if I would have to pick one to focus on, I might actually be going for the purple, because I feel like that works well for like winter time as well. And the other ones I will be able to incorporate one way or another. If you guys have any ideas on how to wear this palette, anything that I can combine with my palette or anything, let me know. And yeah, that is it for today. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I hope to see you in one of my next videos. Bye bye.